Hey everybody, welcome back. Thank you very much for asking your questions. These videos are always really fun to make. Just want to say if the audio is terrible or if you hear any dogs barking, it's outside. But also if the audio is just generally terrible, that's my fault. So let's just get into it anyway. Looking forward to Hogwarts Legacy? Oh yeah, big time. I'd like to play it on the PS5 rather than a PS4 though, just so I can get the best experience possible. And when it comes to, if I could even call it this, but Harry Potter games, games that take place in the Potter universe, I always want like the best experience, and I always want like the best possible experience that I can get. So I think the PS5 is the way to go for that. And I'm sure that game is going to be, complex with its open world. Who knows how much content's going to be in it? Hopefully lots. I hope there's many different little things to do around the world, little mini games here and there or something. I can't wait to explore it and see where it takes me. It should be a lot of fun, and yeah, it has me excited. But if I ever do get a PS5, whenever that may be, Hogwarts Legacy is high on the list for sure. Favorite place you visited? I've never been out of Ireland. But I've been almost everywhere in Ireland, and places like Belfast, Wicklow. Wicklow is a place it's kind of near, I guess, near Dublin in a way. I used to live in this seaside town, and it was very, very fucking beautiful. I guess my favorite place, I don't know. I guess my hometown, technically. Like, I never really enjoyed anywhere else as much as my hometown. I would like to visit other countries, though. Change it up a little bit, shake things up. What's your favorite ice cream flavor? I love the Ben & Jerry's chocolate fudge. Man, give me the whole tub and a spoon, and I'll eat the entirety of it. I'm not joking. Like, give me it right now. I will spend the next half an hour watching a movie, and I'll eat the whole thing. It's not healthy, but the way this year turned out, I think we could all do with some Ben & Jerry's. Will you upload more on this channel? Like I said before, I'm not holding any promises. I'm not going to tell you that I'm going to do some review or a let's play. I'm just not doing it. It's a moment by moment thing. I just woke up one morning, I was like, I want to do a Q&A, so I did it. I didn't plan it. I just decided to do it at that second. When I think of reviews, I think it's going to be the same way. Like, maybe I'll end up writing a script, but even then that script could be left there. I might not get back to it until months later, where I'll just go, remember that script I had? Oh, I might record it. And then, even then, I'll record it and still not do anything with it, and then edit it another time. Like, I can get very lazy in that way, even though I actually do love reviews. I love filling this channel up with new game reviews. I really, really do. But I guess it's the process of doing it, like the putting it together. The truth is, the most fun I have, is actually on my other channel, Risible Studios, where I make these very creative projects like audio comics and short films, and that's actually the most fun I have. But in this channel, I would say it's reviews. But out of everything, I love voice acting and all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of taken over. That has taken over for a long time now. How have you been? Well, as you know, 2020 wasn't the easiest year for anybody, and I'm sure 2021 will have its downfalls too. The corona will still be around, I just, when people say they can't wait for January 1st, they can't wait for the new year, the corona is still going to be here. You're still going to have to wear a mask and have these stupid restrictions, and it'll be a new year, but new year, same problems. I guess the only way I can describe how I've been is that I've been in this kind of dreamy, low energy state, kind of like a fog of some kind, and I guess that's from being in lockdown a lot and being inside. I probably should be exercising more. I probably should be eating healthier. I probably should be doing a lot of things to improve myself. Here's the thing though, even before the corona, before 2020, I was going through some stuff. I still am going through things that has nothing to do with COVID. I'm going to get kind of personal here, but in 2018, I got pretty weird. I started to question my life. I question reality. I went down a rabbit hole of just questioning existence pretty much. I believe it's called an existential crisis, and let's just say I stared way too deeply into the abyss. It caused me to go into a deep sadness and fear about things that really just don't matter, like free will, determinism, what is life, what is being a human, do my choices matter, where do we go when we die? There's no place to go where we die, we just go into a blank emptiness forever. And it did cause me to go into a deep sadness, and it kind of weighed me down a lot. And even today in 2020, those anxieties creep up on me, and they can really ruin my day. So I need to kind of get up and move around and talk to people and kind of just get out of my own head. Because the way I describe my mind is, it's like quicksand. That I can go really, if I'm not careful, if I just stay there, I can get deeper and deeper into it, and I gotta do something. I gotta get up, I gotta go, but yeah, because otherwise I'll just sink deeper and deeper. But brighter days are ahead, I believe. What did you think of this year? I'm definitely comfortable with calling this year historical. It's one that we will not forget. And if I get a kid someday or something, I'm going to share many things with them about this year, and probably 2021, because who knows what that year will bring, but there'll be a lot of things to talk about there. Thoughts on Sting in AEW? I think if it makes him happy and content in his life, then all power to him. Although I wouldn't want him to wrestle, because, I don't know, I'd worry about him kinda, with his age and all. I know that's probably bad to say, and I'm sure he's healthy. He's probably more healthy than me, honestly, and I'm 26. But if he does wrestle, maybe let him win his debut match. Just a thought. Just a thought. If he's not wrestling, I'd make him, I don't know, GM or whatever they want to do. That'd be nice for him. A part of me does think, though, geez, Sting, he's still going, he's still working. It's admirable and cool, but I do worry about him. If it puts more money in his pocket, that will never be a bad thing, ever. Having said all that, though, I don't believe it'll do much for the company. The company will still be in the same kind of state they're in. But, it's Sting. No harm in bringing a legend on board. There's no harm in that at all. So why not? Go nuts. Which upcoming wrestling game are you most looking forward to? The next WWE game, AEW, The Wrestling Code, or Retromania? It's definitely The Wrestling Code. And honestly, I wasn't sure what Retromania was until this question. However, having looked into it, I'm not really into that kind of arcadey luck. It's just not for me, the sprite-based gameplay that has. I'm into more 3D wrestling games. That's what I'm into, really. But yeah, The Wrestling Code is number one for me, because I've just been following it for a while now. A long time. It feels like a long time. And I'm feeling a hype for it, There's an excitement. It gets bigger and bigger. So I'm ready to see what it's all about. And it's very mysterious right now. We don't know much. And that's what gives it more excitement for me. It's oh, what is this wrestling game? What is it? It seems so good and cool and all that. I would like to see a new WWE game going on to the PS5, though. What would it look like on the PS5? What would the gameplay be like? Especially how they worked on that Battlegrounds game, but maybe they've been working on 2K22 for months and months and months, almost 2 years, maybe. I don't know. Maybe by the end of 2021, they would have worked on it for 2 years. I hope. And not just for a year. The one thing that I like about the Wrestling Code is they said that they'd be updating the game along the way. They won't be releasing it every year or what. No, it'll just be the same game updated through time. I think that's what a lot of wrestling games should do, including 2K22. Or maybe not even call it 2K22, just call it a new name and just keep updating it along the way. Because that's a very, very good concept to have. That AEW game, I'm not gonna lie, the teaser looked quite odd, but that's an early look, and not a lot was shown. But from what they did show us, I thought it looked pretty wonky. So For now, it's the wrestling code, but you never know. Maybe the WWE game could make me more excited. I don't know. But also, who knows? For now, it's the wrestling code. What was your reaction to the TNA Victory Road 2011 Jeff Hardy incident? Oh boy, yeah. I remember watching it at the time and feeling that something was off. I remember when he looked into the camera and he did that like weird smile. That was odd to me, even at the time. Like something wasn't right there. Even from a simple smile, it wasn't Jeff, you know? Maybe that doesn't make sense. But to be honest with you, I didn't actually know what was wrong with him until I got a little older. I found out what happened, and I think looking back now, it's hard to watch, and I can't help but feel bad for him. Maybe I shouldn't feel bad, but, you know, he showed up to an event drugged out of his mind and all, and people paid for that event. But at the same time, I love Jeff. He's an idol. I know he's had his demons, his struggles, his hardship, but at the same time, he is one of the sweetest people ever. He's like the Keanu Reeves of wrestling. He's a good man. However, I know he's had problems, including, I could be wrong here, but even in 2019, didn't something happen? Like he was drunk or something in public? Could be wrong about that, but something did happen, and that angered me. I remember feeling an anger towards it, because honestly, and this may sound selfish on my part, the people that I look up to are actually dead now and have been dead longer than I've been alive, such as Kurt Cobain, Jim Morrison, Freddie Mercury. So now I have this idol, Jeff Hardy, who is alive and is breathing as we speak. So I guess what I'm saying is it's nice to have an idol who's actually alive. I just worry about that for Jeff. This is going to get kind of dark, but if I woke up one morning and I see his name on Twitter, like, Jeff Hardy found dead, like, just let you know, I would be more devastated than you can imagine. This man has been a hero to me. The same way a Hulk Hogan would be for older generations. Like, Jeff is my Hulk Hogan. And personally, I'd like to forget Victory Road 2011. But it happened. And it's real. We can't forget those things. All we can do is kind of learn from it and move on, because you can't change the past. All you can do is move on and try to be the best person that you can be. Have you watched Dark Side of the Ring? I did watch the Chris Benoit documentary, and the one thing that interests me are the actors that they use, like even remaking the events that went down, and that's actually very cool. But that's all I watched. Plus, honestly, with Chris Benoit, I've heard everything there is to know about the Benoit story, so I think that did diminish the interest, like the morbid curiosity that us humans have. I already know it all, so it was old news to me. I appreciate what they're doing and all, especially like for newer fans who maybe have never heard of Chris Benoit, the Invisible Man. For them, it can be a history lesson, which also goes for others like Owen Hart. It's an important educational lesson if you're new to the wrestling world, and wrestling for sure has its fair share of darkness that maybe some don't want to know, and maybe some that don't want to be aware of it anymore. But it's there, and it hangs over the wrestling world. It's there, and it's very, very real. Do you like Vince Russo? I've heard a lot about Vince Russo over the years, more than actually listening to him himself. I've mostly just heard about him in the mouths of wrestlers. But as a person, listening to him in interviews or whatever, I haven't done much of that in my life. Honestly, Jim Cornette is the biggest man-child that I've ever heard in my life. I don't watch Jim Cornette that much, but whenever I do hear him, the shit that he says, he could be such a troll that honestly, it does make me laugh from the diarrhea that comes out of his mouth over the years. That has come out of his mouth over the years. In a way, and I never want to be the person that he is. I don't want to be like this troll or make people mad. But I gotta say, I respect the power he has over some fans who get mad at him and give him like a reaction. Because in a sense, he's winning. Because you're making him relevant. When really, you should ignore him. Give him no reaction. Because no reaction makes him non-existent to the world. And he would hate that. That would bother him a lot. Sorry if that didn't answer your question, but I'm sure that same idea goes with Vince Russo. I'm not sure if he's on Twitter or anything, but I'm sure if he got no reaction from the things he says, that's what makes them tick. That's what makes them mad. Stop giving them reactions. Stop giving them what they want. They like to see you angry. Thoughts on the Legends of Wrestling game series by Acclaim. I've never played those games, but I would like to. I'd like to play all kinds of wrestling games. Because when I was in my teens, I tried my very best to play every possible wrestling game, but missed out on Legends of Wrestling. I wish I could give my thoughts on it, make a review, but you might want to go watch Lion's Edge for that one. I cannot provide it, sadly. Any movie you are looking forward to watching in the future? Yeah, currently I have about 3 movies I want to see, although that number could change in a few months. There's the new Final Destination movie, the new Saw movie, and if it does happen, Jeepers Creepers 4. But sadly, with Jeepers Creepers 4, as you know, the director has kind of a shady history. But yeah, that number could increase, but right now it's mostly just the gory and the horror type of movies, because I love those kind of movies a lot. And there's nothing wrong with that, Like, if it's just horror and gore for the year, fuck yeah, bring it on. Oh, and the new Scream movie, too. That's 4, actually. There could be more. Maybe I can't think right now. But yeah, Scream, Final Destination, Saw, and Jeepers Creepers 4. Oh, man. Whew. That gets me excited. What made you become a wrestling fan in the first place? All I know is that I played the wrestling games first, and that led me to watch it on TV somehow in 07. Although I did watch it on occasion in 06. I do have some memories, but really though, I became a full-time wrestling fan at 12 years old, something like that. And I like to believe it was the huge swanton bomb off the stage onto Orton that sold it for me. That was a classic moment. And at the time, that blew my fucking mind. Like that a person could jump off from that height and not care about their safety and just go for it. Like, it's definitely made me do some stupid things in my own life too, physically, which you probably shouldn't be doing. I almost broke my neck one time doing a swanton bomb, and how I'm still here, I don't know. Which country would you like to visit in the future? Mexico, because, my girl is from there, and it seems like a beautiful country with a lot of good fucking food that I want to shove down my junk hole. Canada seems like a very lovely place too. New Zealand, Australia. Like, when I think of Australia, I think of those nice beaches and go surfing. That would be pretty damn cool. I would like to see the smaller kind of rural areas in America. I think they're pretty nice looking and they're very beautiful. I like the nature of it and the woodland areas, But I think most of all, it will be Mexico, for reasons stated. Although I will say, like, places like Canada, New Zealand, Australia, they just have such a beautiful vibe to them, such a beautiful atmosphere. Do you think it was a bad idea for TNA to go head-to-head with WWE Raw in 2010? I don't think it made a difference for either company in the grand scheme of things. TNA, like, they would still go on to survive, but at the same time feel totally non-existent. It's a very weird thing with them. Like, they're out there, they're still going, but they feel so gone and, like, non-existent. WWE also are in this awful state that they're in right now. I don't think their feud made any difference, if you can even call it a feud. Because honestly, I don't think it was as real as people made it out to be. TNA mentioning WWE every 5 seconds didn't mean it was a serious thing, in my opinion. And AEW, you can also stop doing that. That would be very great if you stopped mentioning WWE every fucking 5 seconds. It's about your company. It's about you. If I were to tune into AEW, I'm tuning in because I want to see you. I don't want to hear about WWE. I don't want to know about WWE in that moment. In those 1 or 2 hours, however long it's on. I just want you. I just want you, babe. Yeah, going head to head. It didn't do shit. It didn't go anywhere. And to me, it didn't really come across as an historical moment. Besides, I loved both companies at the time. And yeah, maybe I did enjoy TNA just a little bit more, but I still watched both companies. But it went nowhere, and it didn't do anything for them almost 11 years later. Last question. What do you think wrestling had in the past that made it so fun to watch that is missing in today's wrestling? If you like wrestling and enjoy what it has today, you're not wrong for that. If you tune in every week, you're excited for a new show, it's something that gives you a lot of enjoyment in your life, great. But me personally, I think you deserve so much more, and I think you're missing on what they used to do. Like, go watch the old shows, because I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. Wrestling used to have personality, style, jaw-dropping moments, engaging and deep storylines, and better writing too that actually kept you hooked. It was fun and exciting to see where the story would take the likes of Jeff Hardy, Edge, Taker, Michaels every week. Wrestling matches used to be about a story and actually said something rather than making it look like a choreographed match. And while it is technically choreographed and it is staged, I would say to a lot of wrestlers out there, it's your job to make it look real. But you're not making it look real, because sadly, from a lot of what I see these days, I can see the acting. I can see the fakeness of it. It's kind of like watching a bad actor. You can see the acting. And also, it's supposed to feel random and improvised, going moment to moment. It's not supposed to look staged and scripted, even though it is, but you shouldn't come across that way. This is going to be a very weird comparison, but when I watch Rocky, for example, the Rocky movies, Rocky Balboa seems like a very real person. And maybe that's so because Sylvester Stallone put his own experiences, his own struggles and such into that character. Maybe that's why it feels so real. But yeah, at the end of the day, Rocky feels like a very real person to me. And I was able to get the same feelings from, let's say, an Undertaker. I believed it because he was so into the character, so into that world, and just so full of stories and memories that when you see him in reality, especially with the amount of interviews he's done this year, you just go like, who's this guy? That's not Taker. That's just some random man. But no, that's Taker. That's your childhood. And it just goes to show, even at 26 now, I'm still mind blown by the excellence that is Mark Calloway. There's a certain magic in that, where you can be this normal person, but you can turn yourself into like this character and be this entirely different thing. And you just don't see that in wrestling nowadays. Of course, there's so much more that I can go into. And maybe it could be nostalgia, it could be rose-tinted glasses. But yeah, thank you very much for watching my video. Of course, if I ever do have another video out, it'll be in the new year. But I just want to say, take it easy out there. And the road in this life can be a bumpy one. But you'll get through it. We all will. There are obstacles ahead, but we'll get over it. We will. Thank you very much for watching. And I'll see you again, whenever that may be.